This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
Winter is coming for the rest of the NFL as the Chiefs reloaded at wide receiver, adding Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown to a robust middle-of-the-field zone-beating team with wide receiver Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, their number one legitimate tight end and receiver. When you have all of these weapons, there's a reason the Chiefs are really bringing back the deep ball in 2024. And these three players with Worthy and Brown and Rice have really started to click. They are spending time together. They're coming down the hill together for training camp. They are getting ready for the season, and I'm excited. I know you guys are too. Very quickly, welcome in to the RGR Football Channel. This video was sponsored by BetUS Sportsbook, and we thank them very much for joining us on this 2024 season as we continue to break down the Kansas City Chiefs. My name is Daniel Harms, Senior Film Analyst, and we're going to break down why this wide receiver room and really the entire weapons are all ready to go for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that sub button right now. We're going to break off and talk about this guy right here, Hollywood Brown. What is he bringing to the room? Why was his addition really among the best in the NFL in terms of style of fit to the offense and how he's going to continue to unlock himself in this offense, and he's the perfect fit for it? Well, in 14 games last season in 2023, he had 1,252 intended air yards. That's ridiculous. And the Chiefs want to throw the ball downfield. He only had 400 actual air yards. Out of 101 targets, he had 68 catchable targets, and he ended up with 51 catches for 574 yards and 5 touchdowns, which would have been more than any other Chiefs wide receiver not named Rashee Rice. So when we talk about Hollywood Brown, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid have already been impressed with his route running and what he's going to be able to do from a deep, intermediate, and short department. If you guys are interested, I did a whole breakdown on Hollywood Brown's game and what he's going to bring to the Chiefs offense in 2024. You guys can go back and check that out and get ready for Saturday as we get into the preseason, and he's going to end up playing about one quarter. As Andy Reid said today, the starters are going to get about one quarter. So we get the normal Andy Reid approach to the preseason, which I think we all love because we all want to see these guys get a little bit of that consistency out, try to form a little bit of connection and wiggle room to try to see what they're going to be able to do. But Hollywood Brown's going to add a total different element to this offense, especially because he is a guy that can run really good routes, sit in zones, and he's going to be able to open up those middle parts of the field for everybody, not named, not just like Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, but the new additions to the offense with Jared Wiley, Xavier Worthy, things like that. So all in all, this team is going through a deep ball renaissance. Is there a reason for that? Yes, we know last season the Chiefs were awful in throwing the ball down the field. And when you have all these things and all of these weapons, the reason that we get Hollywood Brown in here is because what he's going to be able to do is add that different element. Here he is working on, 7-on-7 with the Chiefs and getting into the middle of the field, getting into that rhythm with Patrick Mahomes. And you see him adjust on the football there. Very good catch, working on the fade down that right-hand side against Brian Cook, catches it over his shoulder, really executing that ball tracking. We get to also see some of his release packages, and I want to see this one more time. This is a really good stutter release from Hollywood Brown, getting him to the outside right there. And you see he's got that speed to get upfield, ball tracking. He comes back to it, makes a fantastic grab over Taylor. And that's what you want to see, a guy who was willing to go up and get that football, because at the end of the day, you're going to have opportunities to make plays, not just over the middle of the field, but downfield. And he can do that. Another one here where he is an over route over the right-hand side of that field. So all these different things, they really are forcing the football to Hollywood Brown early and often. Nice play by Trent McDuffie right there, who's been making plays all training camp. But we're seeing here a real effort to get the ball downfield, and Hollywood Brown's going to bring a legitimate vertical threat to this offense. Getting back to the deep ball for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense, they only had 18 completions on 63 attempts last season, which is 28.6% completion percentage, the lowest of his career. He had a 1-to-6 touchdown to interception ratio. That's the worst in his career. Only one touchdown on deep balls last season, and a 21.7% drop rate. So when we're throwing the football down the field, 21.7% of the time, it's being incompleted by a drop. just going back to 2022 when they didn't throw a lot downfield either. They still threw 63 times down the field, but they completed 28 of them, a 44.4% completion percentage, much more respectable, with a 3-0 touchdown to interception ratio and only a 6.7% drop rate. That's what we're trying to see happen back in Kansas City. We don't necessarily think that they're going to be bombs away in terms of 100 to 120 times that they throw the ball down the field. Be more efficient with those deep shots because they can still use those. MVS was open downfield. Justin Watson was open downfield. Lots of players, Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, were open downfield at times last year, and they either could not catch the football or they were not able to track the football, quote unquote. McCole Hardman, MVS. So we're entering this new regime here, and you guys are going to be able to do a lot of different things with this Chiefs when we're talking about sports betting. Like I said, we are presented by BetUS, and they are going to do a fantastic job of getting you guys everything you need for the upcoming.
RGR Football is sponsored by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. And this is the deal. Fastest payouts in the industry. And right now you get a 125% sign-up bonus up to $2,000 right this minute. Chiefs are all over BetUS because they're right at the top of the list for both Super Bowl matchups. Whichever you think is the most likely opponent for the Chiefs, you can pick right now, as well as the Super Bowl odds that are the best currently as we speak. Mahomes for the MVP, the conference titles. You can get into all the action if you want to get over to BetUS. That's a 125% deposit match on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 each. They have live wagering on all major games, the best betting variety in the business, and you can even get 10% back on your losses twice a year. Check it all out at our BetUS link in the description below.
Patrick Mahomes being the MVP in 2024 would not be outside of the realm of possibilities. So I'm looking at that number very, very much. But also, if you guys want to know all the issues that the Chiefs had with their deep ball last year, I did a video diving into their deep ball and how they can get better at it in 2024 on the RGR channel. Make sure you go check that out. Now, getting to more of what we're seeing, I want to quickly also shout out Eddie High. You guys can follow him on Twitter at Eddie High. He gave us permission at RGR to use his camp videos here to be able to show you clips of Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy doing their thing. But again, we just saw Trent McDuffie make another really good play on a football. Let's go back to that very quickly. This is something that we're going to see a lot of with one-on-one and Xavier Worthy, and people are going to be pointing out press coverage and things like that. But watch the reason that this ball did not get completed. When we're talking about release packages against press coverage, this route or this stem or this beginning release is far too wide. He needs to be more efficient in that regard. So it's a good thing he's going up against Trent McDuffie in practice and everything like that. But this is what we're seeing and what we're going to see a lot from in the Chiefs offense with Xavier Worthy, scheming him open into space. What Andy Reid does so well is scheme those players into space. So he's going to be a big beneficiary of that. When we talked about adding Hollywood Brown and the verticality of Xavier Worthy, we talked about Rashee Rice last year. The improvement that he showed over the last few points of the season were so impressive because we got to see him grow as a zone beater, so something he didn't really do in college. And the Chiefs use his explosiveness, that first step after the catch and the catch to attack, to really really get after defenses. And when you consider if the Chiefs can be more efficient with those two players, Brown and Worthy, throwing the ball down the field, that's going to continue to open up those big passing lanes underneath for Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce and Rashee Rice to continue to get better and better. But there are some dark horses here that are going to make some plays in training camp in the preseason to try to make themselves big factors on the roster. One guy in particular is Justin Ross, who is having a really good training camp. I know we did this all last year with Ross, but I think we're going to see a little bit different in the preseason because he is actually getting much better at just generating quick openness for him. So right here down the left-hand sideline, another great adjustment to the ball there from Justin Ross. I think he's going to have a possibility here to not just make this roster, but hopefully be that big body guy on this team, because the Chiefs are pretty small at wide receiver. Speaking of small, one guy who is not small and is going to be an impact player right away in that Jody Fortson role is tight end Jared Wiley, who adds a little bit of physicality and route running to his game to bring to the Chiefs offense. So looking at those two big body players, I don't know if Justin Ross is going to make this roster, but he's having a fantastic camp. I'm trying to get the training camp after that first preseason game so I can get a much better idea of how the Chiefs feel about these players after that first one. And again, it is on Saturday. I can't wait to see it. I know you guys are excited. But talking a little bit about Jared Wiley, he is someone who I do believe not only makes this roster, but makes an immediate impact, like I mentioned, in that Jody Fortson role. And for a guy who was drafted on day 3, he's 6'6", he's over 240 pounds. And this is what Travis Kelce had to say about him on the New Heights podcast. He sees a lot in Wiley that suits this offense way better than it suited him when he was drafted. He's making more plays. He's comfortable in how he's running routes and seeing the field. You put the ball anywhere in his vicinity and he's making the catch. He's got great hands. You just see a lot of upside. And that's exactly what Jared Wiley has been from his time at Texas to TCU. Not necessarily fits for him in terms of getting all the playbook down and running all the crisp routes and really developing as a player. Felt like he was more inserted and said, we're going to have you do this. But he did a lot of things at TCU. He got better and become much more fluid as a route runner. And we're seeing that happen now from rookie minicamp into training camp. He's making plays, and they are also airing the ball out to him, as we just saw down the field. And when you guys think about the Jody Fortson role, a couple of plays stick out. That one against the Chargers down the right-hand sideline where he goes and he just catches the ball on the wheel route from that motion from left to right. Just those different things that I think can also add different verticality to this offense. So all in all, I'm really, really excited to see what these weapons do, because I was excited and wrongly excited about the Chiefs' weapons last year. Rashee Rice ended up being the only one really having true impact on this offense. But to get ready and get geared up for this preseason game, you guys go ahead and check out. I've got Xavier Worthy breakdowns, Jared Wiley breakdowns, Hollywood Brown breakdowns, all in the film room sessions for you guys to get ready to see what they're going to contribute to these offenses. Once again, we would like to thank BetUS, BetUS Sportsbook for sponsoring this video as they join us on this 2024 season. I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown, a little bit of camp clips talking about how this offense is going to be explosive, exciting, and gearing up for the 2024 NFL season, with week 1 of the preseason beginning on Saturday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You guys, make sure if you're new to the channel, you hit that sub button and hit a like on the way out. We will see you guys next time. We're going to have a bunch of great content for you guys this season.